What is up, family? You are listening to Living Beyond the Dream podcast, where we're having practical conversations to take the dreams that you have for your church and yourself and turning them into a reality. My name is Mike. I'm joined by my man, Tyler. So, Tyler, let's get into this thing, my man.
Let's do it. So, we started off 2 sessions ago with self-actualization, taking a deeper look inside. Then we went into failure's not a bad word.
Come on.
And then today, we're going to be talking about change.
Ooh.
Good topic.
Yes, we're going to get there.
Good topic. So, backing it up again, self-actualization, deeper dive to assess the organization, yourself. And then after we take that deeper dive, the next week we talked about failure, not being a bad word. Mm-hmm. Use it to motivate, use it to change. And then this week, change. But why does that word have such a scary tag to it?
Well, I think that's kind of is tagging off of last week, because I think most reason why we make failure a bad word is because of what we think about change. Yeah. And the reality is change is scary to most people because most people fear anything different than what they know, right? Mm-hmm. Studies show that most people want stability, or they test at a personality type that is stable. Yeah. So most people don't want to change because change is anti-stability. Mm-hmm. So we stay in what we know, even though it's not healthy. That's why you'll find people that'll stay in an abusive relationship, even though they know it's harmful to them. Yeah. But change is scary. Yeah. It's what they know. It's their familiar. It's why they'll stay in a job that we hate, because the fear of going to a job that's new, that change is scary. So most people will choose stability over health. Yeah. They'll choose something that they're familiar with over something that's more healthy. So they fear change altogether because it's anti-stability.
Yeah. I've heard you say actually that change over time becomes the new normal. And that it seems like that can have a negative connotation to it. Like, obviously what you're saying, like you can get stuck in that negative environment. Yeah. Or it can have a very positive.
Well, yeah, that's what most people don't realize, is that we crave stability, or most people, that's where they want to be. They want to be stable. And so they're so scared of change because it's anti-stability. Yeah. But what they don't realize is, guess what? When you change over time, now that is your new normal. Yeah. So that healthy change you make, though it may take a step of faith, it may be uncomfortable, sooner or later, that's going to become stable to you, because now that's your new normal. That's good. So take steps towards health, even though it's going to be uncomfortable, even though it's a change, even though it goes against the grain of who you feel personality-wise as it's anti-stability, but realize sooner or later, it's going to level out. Yeah. That's going to become stable. And now you're going to be stable in something healthy, not something unhealthy.
That's good. What would you say is one of the most important things about change?
Well, there's a lot of great things you need to understand about change, but I think the biggest thing you need to grasp is change happens 1 degree at a time.
I think we just found the title of this.
Okay, yes.
That's good.
Well, let me explain that why. Change isn't just like a light switch. Yeah. Okay, it's not like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to change everything in my entire life, right? Mm-hmm. That would freak everybody out. Even the greatest entrepreneur, even the most adventurous person, like changing every aspect of your life all at once in one fell swoop, it's not healthy and it's going to scare you. Yeah. That's not the way change works. Right? I don't walk into an organization and go, oh my gosh, we got to change everything. I change 1 degree at a time. Yeah. I change an area. We change system. Mm-hmm. We change a process. We change a staff member. One thing at a time. Yeah. That's not working. So change happens 1 degree at a time. Yeah. So understanding where you're at and where you want to go, but not feeling like you have to do everything once. Here's what you got to remember. It's 52 short sprints to finish a year out. Yeah. You don't have to change everything week 1. Yeah. You just got to look at a year down the road and realize you're farther along than what you were when you began. Mm-hmm. So 52 short sprints, 52 degrees, 52 small changes will lead to one big impact inside your organization, your church, and yourself.
That's good. So to the leader that's been listening, and did do the self-actualization, took a look, and has momentum right now, how does that person prioritize what to change first?
Well, I kind of agree with the way Church Development Network has been talking about it for years. You know, the ABCs of Church Growth. If you've never read that book, or it's a little pamphlet, it's phenomenal. But you need to look at that. But basically, they look at it like a bucket system, right? Mm-hmm. They say if there's holes going down the side of your bucket, and you try to put water in it, of course the water is going to come out of the holes.
Yeah.
But if you go, okay, I got all these holes in my bucket, but I go and I plug the top hole, right? I'm still not going to add more water to my bucket because the bottom hole still is leaking, right? Yeah. So what you've got to do is figure out, of all the things you need to change, what's the thing that's harming you the worst? What are you the worst at? Like, what is your organization just really falling flat on its face? And then spend your entire effort and time making that fixed. Because if you plug that hole, the bottom hole, naturally the level of the water will rise. Yeah. So if you can look at your entire organization, and there may be lots of areas that aren't healthy, but you can tackle the weakest area and then turn it into a strength, naturally your organization is going to grow. Yeah. So you've had this real expectation of yourself. You've looked at it in the mirror, you laid all the cards out on the table, and now what you say is, I'm not going to divert my energy to do some things good. I'm going to put my effort and energy as a team to make something great. And then next year, I'll tackle the next hole. And the next year, I'm going to tackle the next hole. But right now, I'm going to turn a weakness into a strength.
Yeah, that's good. You talked about teams, like your staff, for instance. How do you minimize the pushback internally of change?
Communication.
Okay,
they got to know why and where. Okay, why are we changing and where are we going? Yeah. Nobody wants to be a part of something that they're embarrassed about. Yeah. Nobody wants to be a part of an organization that's not winning. Nobody wants to be a part of an organization they're embarrassed to be a part of. They want to be a part of something they're proud of. Yeah. So they want to win. Everybody wants to be on a winning team. Okay? But they're not going to just change because you told them they need to change. Right? They're not going to just jump on the bus because you said, hey, we're going somewhere. Yeah. They're going to jump on the bus because they go, ooh, I really want to go where you're going. Yeah. And so what we've got to do is say, hey, this is why we're changing. Okay? This ain't working. We're failing. People are falling through the cracks. We're hurting people. We're frustrated all the time. We're not happy. Yeah. This is not motivating. And this is where I want us to go. Because then all of a sudden the light bulbs start going, you know what? It's going to be better when we get there. Yeah. So yeah, it's uncomfortable right now, but man, it's going to be awesome when we get to this place. So we painted the why and the where for our people.
Would you say that that's the same case externally too? So for like congregation members?
Yes. I mean, 100%. But with people, we want momentum in our life. I say this all the time. The two most important things you need to give someone is as a leader, you need to have momentum moving forward. So you got to keep momentum going and you got to keep morale up, right? Yeah. So what we want to do is that when we want to keep people moving forward somewhere, and by doing that, their morale is rising when they say we're moving forward. Yeah. So when we're showing our people we're just trying to be better, we're not changing for the sake of change, we're changing for the sake of growth. Yeah. And then we show them that we actually have a plan and we explain the why. People buy into something, right? Yeah. They want to buy into you as a leader. They wouldn't be a part of your church if they didn't want to buy into you as a leader. Yeah. But people are skeptical because it's our human nature to be survivalist, which means we are going to defend ourselves at all costs. We're going to survive against the elements, right? It's built in from the caveman days, right? Yeah. Dinosaurs coming, right? Got to guard my cave. Yeah. I don't know if that really was what happened, but that's what we're going with. We're going there, right? But from caveman days, right? Gonna kill me, right? And that's what, so survive. Yeah. We haven't changed as people, just the elements have changed. And so what we're trying to do is always realize people aren't evil by nature. They're not resistant to you by nature. Yeah. They're just trying to make sure they're protecting themselves. Yeah. So what we do as leaders is we communicate in a way that gets them to loosen their grip and trust you, and knowing, hey, I picked you to be my leader as a reason. You're reminding me why, and I want to go where you're going. And so what we're doing is fighting against human nature and communicating in a clear and effective way that passion becomes contagious.
Yeah. Wow. That's really good. How can you tell if it's working?
Well, that's a pretty easy one, because you don't change for the sake of change. You change for the sake of an outcome. Yeah. So you already know what the outcome you want. So if you're not seeing that outcome, it ain't working, right? Like we don't just say, okay, well, let's change everything because we're not growing as a church, right? We got to say, I want to grow how? What do you want to grow in, right? Like, well, we want new people. Okay, is new people coming. We want people to stay. Well, are they staying?
Yeah.
We want to get more people serving. Well, are you getting more people serving?
Yeah.
We want to get more people in our life groups. Well, are they getting like you have an outcome for the changes in your organization. And so now you have a measuring tool, right? That you can look and go, yep, no. It's as simple as yes or no questions, right?
Yeah.
Are we or are we not?
Yeah.
Because if the answer is no, then your change didn't work and it's time to get back to the drawing board.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So how do you overcome the fear of change?
How do you overcome the fear of change?
How do you overcome, let me put it this way. You've got someone that needs to really turn the boat around.
Okay.
Here. And maybe the fear is we're going to lose people if we take this step or if we do XYZ change. How do you overcome that? Because you believe that it's better for your vision for that church.
You've got to understand not everybody's going to like the decisions you make, but you're making it for the majority, not the minority.
Yeah.
You cannot ever make an organizational decision based on the minority's opinion. You've got to do it on the majority's health. It's like not wanting to make a change that you know is killing your organization because you're going to upset your biggest giver. Because guess what? Sooner or later, that biggest giver is going to leave.
Yeah.
And then you have sunk in yourself because you have attached yourself to one person, not a community of people.
Yeah.
Right? Health always prunes out the unhealthy. So when you're going through a change and a growth, what does the Bible say? It says he's going to prune away some things to leave room for bigger growth.
Yeah.
That means sometimes he prunes away people that are anti your vision and not pro your mission. That means sometimes you're going to lose people. Now, we don't want to lose people. We're not aiming to keep people out of our church, but we know where we're going. We're married to the vision, not the minority's opinion. And with that, they're either on the bus or off the bus.
Yeah.
Now, if it's hurting the majority, you made the wrong decision. Right? I'm not talking about like if you get a mass exodus and the majority of your church is left because of the changes you're making, you weren't listening to the minority, right? You were listening to minority, you weren't listening to majority, right? It's when you know you're losing a couple people are in there, don't let that fear you, right? You got to get over this idea that everybody going to like you.
Yeah.
Not everybody going to like you. Not everybody's going to like change. Not everybody's going to want to be following the way you're doing things. Some people don't want to be a part of a big church.
Yeah.
Some people want to be a part of small churches, right?
Yeah.
And some people leave just because your church gets too big. Not even any changes you made. You can't let that bother you when you know you're doing health and so much more, right? Because that's just not the way you measure success in your ministry or your organization.
This is where you have to stay married to that vision, right?
We don't cheat on the vision.
No compromise.
You can't, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to have a healthy organization if you got a wandering eye. If you're wandering away from that vision always, right? Sooner or later, you're going to cheat.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, you're going to destroy the marriage that God has placed in your heart. You're called for a specific reason. You have a specific DNA that God has called your church community to, and you've got to walk in that, right? We don't compete with other churches, but we're completing other churches. Your vision completes other churches' visions.
Yeah.
Be true to you. Make the changes that are going to continue to build health in that, and be okay and founded in that. You're married to the vision. We don't cheat on that.
Yeah. That's so good. So would you agree then for a healthy, growing organization, the only constant is change?
100%. We're always trying to figure out how we can be more impactful, how we can be better, how we can start impacting and expanding the kingdom of God better. And that means we're learning. And that means things we try aren't going to work. That means sometimes culture evolves and shifts and it's not relevant in reaching people. That means technology starts advancing and we got to keep up with technology. It takes change, right? If we are growing, we're moving, and if you're moving, the surroundings are changing over time. If you're standing still, everything gonna stay the same. But if you are picking and moving, guess what? Everything starts evolving with you. So you got to learn to understand and embrace it. Understand change becomes the new normal over time. Realize not everybody's going to like you, but realize we're fighting for health. We're expanding the kingdom of God. We're not trying to make someone happy. We're trying to populate heaven. And when we populate heaven, guess what? Most people are happy because they realize they're living for something bigger than themselves, something that will last for all eternity.
Man, that's good. And that actually flows right into what we're going to be talking about next week. Constantly be evolving.
Oh, come on. That's a really important topic you need to get, because guess what? You're not perfect. You ain't arrived. That's cool. And we're going to really dive into how we as leaders inspire that growth in other people and where we're going. So
I can't wait.
I'm excited about that.
Wait.
So I'm so excited you guys tuned in with us today. Make sure you're subscribing to the podcast. Share this with some friends, man. If you're loving this, share it. Give us a review. We'd love to hear from you. Comment on that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't just subscribe. Ring a ding that bell so you never miss an episode again. Can't wait to see you back next week. Pray God's peace.